You've probably heard that the sun doesn't really affect pool chemicals. It sounds logical. The sun makes things warm, clean, dry, so how could it be the villain in this story? Well, by the end of this video, you'll know the truth and what to do about it. We're diving into a surprisingly common belief, one that's draining your chlorine and possibly your patience. So where did this idea even come from? It probably started with how we associate the sun with cleanliness. It dries out our skin, it dries our clothes, it helps disinfect surfaces, and it just feels sanitary, right? So people naturally assume that sunlight either helps pool chemicals or at the very least doesn't do any harm. That warm sunlight you love so much while swimming is actually working against your chlorine. It's not helping, it's hurting. And if you're not accounting for it, you're going to end up chasing problems all season long. Let's get into the chemistry, but don't worry, I'll make it quick and clear. Chlorine doesn't kill bacteria in its raw form. Once it hits the water, it turns into hypochlorous acid. And hypochlorite ions, those are the compounds that do the dirty work. They sanitize your water, kill bacteria, and keep algae from blooming. Now here's where it gets interesting. The sanitizing compounds are highly sensitive to sunlight, especially UV rays. When UV light hits your pool water, it starts to break apart hypochlorous acid. Not slowly, not eventually, but immediately. And it doesn't just reduce effectiveness, it can destroy up to 90% of your chlorine in just a few hours. Think about that for a second. Let's say you chlorinate your pool in the morning. By lunchtime, if it's sunny outside and you don't have protection in place, most of the chlorine is gone and you're left with very little sanitizing power, even though you did everything right. That's the invisible effect of sunlight most people overlook. So what does this mean in real terms? It means wasted chemicals, wasted money, and more maintenance than necessary. You might think, why is my pool going green again? Or why do I need to shock my pool so often? And the answer might be staring you in the face, right up in the sky. Pools without sun protection lose chlorine faster, get cloudy quicker, and often need more corrective chemicals just to stay balanced. If you've ever felt like your chlorine just disappears, now you know why. Sunlight is actively burning it off, and unless you've got something protecting that chlorine, you're stuck in a cycle of overcorrecting. So how do we fight back? Enter cyanuric acid, also known as CYA, or pool stabilizer. Think of it like sunscreen for your chlorine. CYA binds with hypochlorous acid, the part of chlorine that cleans your pool, and protects it from being destroyed by UV light. It's basically a bodyguard for your sanitizer. With CYA in your water, chlorine lasts significantly longer, which means fewer additions, less shocking, and better consistency in your pool chemistry. But just like sunscreen, you've got to use the right amount. Too little and UV rays break chlorine down in hours. Too much, and the chlorine becomes locked, meaning it's in the water, but not very effective. So what's the magic number? Ideally, you want CYA levels between 30 and 50 parts per million. That gives you strong UV protection without reducing chlorine effectiveness. And here's a tip. If you're using stabilized chlorine like trichlor or dichlor, you're already adding CYA every time you treat your pool. If you don't monitor it, those levels can creep up over time until your chlorine becomes sluggish. So remember to test your stabilizer levels along with your chlorine and pH. Balance is key. Let's be honest, this myth doesn't sound dangerous. The sun doesn't affect your pool chemicals. It sounds harmless, maybe even hopeless. But believing it leads to unnecessary cost, poor water quality, and wasted time. Because when you're constantly trying to fix cloudy water, kill algae blooms, or figure out why your chlorine keeps vanishing, you're not relaxing. That's not what a pool should be about. Understanding that UV light actively breaks down chlorine gives you control over your pool. You're not guessing anymore. You're managing. And that puts you way ahead of the average pool owner. So now that you know the cause, you know the science, you even know the fix. Let's recap the game plan. Use cyanuric acid to protect chlorine from UV rays. Keep levels in the 30 to 50 ppm range. Avoid letting CYA build up too high and test monthly. Use liquid or unstabilized chlorine occasionally to control CYA creep. And test your water regularly. Not just chlorine, but pH and stabilizer too. This simple awareness puts you miles away of most pool owners who are stuck reacting to problems instead of preventing them. Now here's an extra tip. Want to protect your chlorine and keep your pool warmer? Try a solar pool cover. It's a lightweight, bubble-style blanket that floats right on top of your pool. It dramatically reduces water evaporation, cuts down chemical loss, and adds a few degrees of warmth using nothing but sunlight. The cover acts as a physical barrier between UV rays and your chlorine, reducing breakdowns even farther. Some studies show you can cut chemical usage by up to 30% just by covering your pool when it's not in use. And as a bonus, you save on water bills and heating costs too. That's a win across the board. So the next time someone says the sun doesn't affect pool chemicals, you'll know better. You'll know it's not just a myth, it's a mistake that leads to wasted chemicals, time, and money. But with the right info like stabilizer levels, solar covers, and then regular testing, you can stay ahead of the sun and keep your pool crystal clear. If this helped you out today, share this with someone that believes sun doesn't really hurt pool chemicals. Do me a favor and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more myth-busting, pool hacks, and water wisdom.